Hello crafters, welcome to G's Creations. I'm going to make a card with you. Yes, another card. I've really got the card bug. I'm going to be using the stamp set Birdie Says from Maymay made it. I've got my card base, I just need to score it. So let me get my scoring tool and score it. Alright. So I've got my card base and I've got this lovely sky blue piece of scrap paper which I am going to use, turn these into clouds. So I'm going to bring my Cuttlebug over and my A and 2B plates, and I'm going to use this cloud embossing folder from Ice. So I'm going to pop that in there, sandwich the embossing folder between the A, B and B plate and run it through my Cuttlebug. Okay, so we end up with, that's the in pressure, that's the out pressure. I'm probably going to use the out. I need to cut that to size, so I'm going to put that to the side for now. And I have this lovely cardstock left over. Again, as you can see, I've used it, so I'm going to cut it. Which side am I going to? Shall I use the dots or shall I use the? We'll decide in a moment. I'm going to cut it down to 2 inches. And using my scoreboard, I am going to score it at every quarter of an inch. Oops, I've done that wrong. No, I didn't. So I'm going to score it at every quarter of an inch, and we're going to make the umbrella out of this particular piece of paper. It's kind of like a rosette, but not a full rosette. Okay, so I'm just going to bend all my scores just to make the paper a bit more pliable. And then once I get to the other end, I shall start the mountain and valley, so the accordion fold. If I'm lucky, I might get 2 out of this particular piece of paper. We shall soon see. I think this week on G's Creations it's turned into Rosette week. I'll link the video, Tuesday's video, in the top corner where I make a rosette wreath. So it's been one of those weeks where I've been struck by inspirations. I'm going to cut this in half because I'm hoping that I can get 2. I may well have to glue this back together if it doesn't work. Okay. No, they still work. Right, now using my art glitter glue, I am going to put glue at the top of each of the hills and valleys, and I'm going to push together. So we almost get like a fan. That makes sense? We get like a fan type of scenario. So while I'm holding this one, I'm going to try and do the second one. Can I let you go now? Oh, you know what? Let me just use some of these ball clips. Okay, that's holding that together. Right, I'm going to do the same thing here and pinch them together. and these are going to become my umbrellas. So let me bring this back over and get this cut to size. Right, just want to double check my card base. So I need this to be 4 inches, but let me just neaten this up first. Just going to neaten this embossed piece of paper up. I hope everyone is well and have had a good weekend and a good week so far. The Guy card collab is coming up very soon. Really excited about that. Really excited. 26 crafters, 2 weeks of tutorials, individual tutorials, so nothing will be repeated. My bottom needs straightening up. Right, and now I'm going to use some of the raindrops that are on this stamp set. Now on this particular stamp set you have the solid raindrops and then you have the open raindrops as well. I think I'm going to probably use the open raindrops, and I'm going to use the VersaFine because I'm going to roughly place my umbrellas where I want them. Hopefully they're stuck now. Almost. The good thing about having that, it also shows me where I need to add more glue. Let me leave those to one side. How are you doing? Again, it shows me where I need to add places in which I need to add the glue, which is cool. Right, so I want one umbrella there and one umbrella there. So I need to roughly get my, okay, so I can work on these rain clouds here. Okay, move that over to one side. Now this particular set, as you can see, comes with an umbrella, so I'm hoping I can utilize the handle of the umbrella. So what I'm planning on doing is masking my base, and where I have my, knowing where I want these to go, oops, I can roughly put the handle in the right place. So I'm just going to ink up as best I can just the handle, and then cover the let me just go further up. So all I get is the handle, if that makes sense. Okay, so I want that one to be there, and where do I want you? I want you to be there. So my handle needs to go about there roughly. Okay, I'm not bothered that it's not a full image because it is partially embossed, so I'm not bothered by that at all. Are you dry yet? Right, and while these are still drying, I'm going to put some art glitter glue on the back of this. Place these down. So I'm just putting the art glitter glue on any of the raised surfaces. Actually, I can probably bring that down. Yep, that works well. Okay, now I want a sentiment. Now, do I want the sentiment to be on the inside or the outside? Well, the next thing I want to do is the raindrops. So I want to put some glossy accents into some of them. So I'm going to need to do that, and then I'm going to have to cut away and let this dry, because obviously glossy accents takes a while to dry before I can place this onto my card base. So I'm just going to choose just occasional random, actually, you know what, I think I might do them all. I think I may do them all, just to make them a bit more authentic and, you know, more authentic looking. So they do look wet, so to speak. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry, and then we'll come back together and we'll put the card together. Okay, while the glossy accents is drying, I'm going to use the sentiment from the stamp set, Don't Hide in the Storm, Dance in the Rain. So I'm going to use my Mr. Wilson stamp block so I know the image is straight. And I'm going to put it on some of this blue leftover cardstock from the base. I love this stamp set. I love this font actually. And VersaFine, it's amazing. Just saying. I digress. There's glue on my table. Come off, glue. To give it a good wash again. And I'm going to back it on some of this white cardstock. I need to make sure this is dry, because I don't want it to smudge. I'm just going to need to straighten this up somewhat. I'm back to using my green cutter because the white one needs a new blade, and I can only get those from overseas. I've tried everywhere in the UK and no one seems to have them, which is just bizarre. Right. Okay, I'm going to glue that, making sure that I have enough room. No, needs to be cut down a bit more. Doesn't have to be big. So I'm going to cut it down a little bit more. Bring this back over. Oh dear, I must have put it on the wet wipe. Yeah, that's better. Right, leaving that to one side for the rain to dry. For the rain to dry. Okay, I'm gonna put some art glitter glue on the back of this. I want that on the bottom there. Okay, and I think, am I going to put him straight? Yeah, I'm going to put him straight down because there's enough dimension on the card itself. So pop that down. Bring my card base back over. I'm going to put some art glitter glue on the back. I'm going to be very careful because the raindrops aren't 100% dry yet. And I'm going to pop that onto my card base. And there we have it. I think it's very cute, very whimsical. So I use the Cloud Dar Ice paper embossing folder, and I use the Maymay Made It stamp set that is called Birdie Says. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you again very soon. Take care now.